to America? On ships, right? So did everybody on the earth go into slavery on ships? Who went into slavery on ships, brother? That's right.
Crazy.
For yourself, know perfectly that the day of the Lord shall coming as a thief in the night. What? As a thief in the night.
Thief in the night.
Right.
The Lord is gonna come as a thief in the night, man. Nobody knows when the Lord is gonna come back, man.
Right.
Nobody knows, man.
This the book of wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion.
What?
For wisdom is more moving than any motion.
Right? The wisdom of the Lord, man, right? And the wisdom of life is more moving than any emotion, man, right? And that's what the Lord has given us to speak to our people, man, right? And that thing is gonna move you more than anything, man, right? It's gonna move you more than damn weed, right? It's gonna move you more than that damn Hennessy bottle, right? It's gonna sit there and move you more than damn Keisha, Letitia, right? And all these damn heathenistic women, man. Right.
Oh, you're going crazy.
There's no, hey, you got 2 minutes, King?
Oh yeah, I always got.
All praise. We'll break it down to you quick, fast, and we ain't gonna hold you up, brother. Right? You believe in God?
Oh yeah.
You believe in the Bible too?
Oh yeah.
All praise to the Most High, right? What did God refer to us as? You know? Like, you believe in God, right? He created us as a nation of people. I'm talking about, because the Lord has nations of people, right? So real quick, right? We're gonna talk to y'all too, right? As a group. Real quick, what's your nationality? What would you say your nationality is? You said, huh? Where's that at?
West Africa.
West Africa? Okay, what about you?
I'm Palestinian.
Palestinian. So we got, right? Sister from West Africa, right? Palestinian, and what would you say your nationality is?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of a lost nation because what they brought us over as far as slavery and all that.
Right. That's right. Right? We was called something else before we came over here. Right? They say we Africans, but we're not Africans, or else when we got off the slave ship, they would have called us Africans, not Negroes. Right? The Africans, so-called Africans, was the ones that sold us into slavery to the so-called white man in the first place. Right? West Africa, right? West Africa was where we fled to.
That's right.
Right? When we was in our true homeland, which is the land of Israel, right? Let me prove it. Right? Give me Galatians 4:26, and give me Tobit chapter 1 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
Let me show you
Galatians.
something.
It's in Galatians chapter 4.
Where you going, sister?
It's the book of Galatians chapter 4 verse 26, and it reads,
No.
But Jerusalem,
What?
but Jerusalem,
Uh-huh.
which is above, is free,
Right?
which is the mother of us all.
Right, that's the true motherland. That's the true homeland.
Right.
Right? The land of Israel, Jerusalem. Right? Read this up.
The book of Tobit 1 and verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And it reads, like in verse 4. And when I was in my own country,
He said, and when I was in my own country, read.
in the land of Israel.
In the land of where?
In the land of
In
Israel.
the land of Israel. Right? So that's where we truly from. We from the land of Israel. Right? And when we fled out of the land of Israel in 70 AD, fleeing from Roman persecution, we fled into West Africa. Right? That's why a lot of our people, like I was going into earlier, if they trace their ancestry or whatever back, they go to parts of West Africa. Why? Because that's where we fled to when we was fleeing from Roman persecution. It won't go back 3,000, 2,000 years. Right? Barely it'll go back 100 years.
Book of Daniel 9 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
And it reads thus, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us.
Now, Daniel is saying that he confirmed his words that he spoke against us. So he's speaking about a specific group of people. Right? Daniel was an Israelite. Right? He said confirmed against us, read.
By bringing upon us a great evil.
Right? Be bringing upon the Israelites, right, a great evil, read.
For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem.
Read.
As it is written in the law of Moses.
As it is where?
As is written in the law of Moses.
As it is written in the law of Moses. So now let's go to the law of Moses and let's see what's written in there that happened, right, to the Israelites.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54, and it reads,
Bring it out.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Said his eye shall be evil towards his said his eye shall be evil towards his brother. Right? What people on the earth, what nation of people on the earth would you say eye evil towards their own brother? Right? What people killing each other over street signs that don't belong to them? Right? What people killing each other is over colors. Think about how low that is to kill somebody because they wear a wrong color. Or you press them because they wear the wrong color. Right? When you turn on Fox 59 News at 11 o'clock, right? What's the first thing they say when they get on there? Right? 2 murders have happened on the far east side of Indianapolis, Indiana by 2 black males. Right? We're those people that got an evil eye towards our own brothers. Right? You agree with that or not?
I do. But help me understand this though, as far as we curse as far as what Ham did.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. We don't come from him. Right? We descend from Shem. Right? Ham, real quick, who got the Bible dictionary? You got it?
I got it.
Right? Watch this. Right? The so-called Africans come from the Hamites or Ham, right? Which is Ethiopians, Libyans, Canaanites. They come from Ham, right? We come from Shem, right? We're Shemetic, right? And the so-called white man and the other scholars and things, they understand and know this too, right? Bring this up.
This is the compact, the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, right? This is the definition of Ham. The definition of Ham. The youngest son of Noah.
The what?
The youngest son of Noah.
Right?
Born probably about 96 years before the flood. And one of 8 persons to live through the flood.
Right?
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Right? The progenitor just means the father, right? Of the dark races, read.
Not the Negroes.
Not who?
Not the Negroes.
But who?
But the Egyptians.
The Egyptians are Hamitic.
Ethiopians. Libyans. And Canaanites.
And the Canaanites. Right? So he's the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Right? We're not the same as Africans. Right? There's a clear, even in the scriptures, there's a difference between the so-called Africans, which are the Hamites, right, and the descendants of Ham and the Israelites.
Right.
There's a difference between them all throughout the scriptures. You understand? Right? So did that answer your question? So that curse with Ham, that's why all those so-called Africans over there in Africa doing bad right now. Right? They be coming out with all type of infirmities and defects, ain't got no water, so on and so forth. Right? That's that curse that came upon them because Ham, he looked upon his father, right? Noah, right? Not only that, even on a deeper level, when you go into Sodom and Gomorrah, they was Hamites, and what did they get destroyed for? Homosexuality, right? What did Ham get cursed for? And it ain't no telling how long he was in there looking at his dad, right? It had to have been something off because the Lord went as far as to curse him for it. So he probably was in there like, right, we ain't gonna get into it, right? But let's keep reading on.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15, and it reads, But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is Moses speaking to the Israelites saying, if thou wilt not hearken unto the Lord thy God, read.
To observe and do all his commandments, and his statutes which I command thee, this day, that all these curses,
all these what?
All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the curse that's coming upon the Israelites don't have nothing, or us, doesn't have anything to do with the Hams. To answer your question, right? It's because we went astray keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? That's why we brought out Daniel chapter 9 and 12, real quick.
So is that why we're not as prosperous as the Israelites?
Well, what you mean as the Israelites? Are you saying like we, as us being Israelites, that's why we're not prospering?
Yeah.
Yes, correct. Brother hit it on the nail. Brother got it. Brother there with us. All praise to the Most High.
Daniel 9 and verse 5. We have sinned.
We have what?
We have sinned.
And
have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled even by departing from thy precepts.
From my what?
From thy precepts.
That's what the Israelites did, right? Bring this up.
Wisdom. This is the book of 2
Zechariah
Kings,
7 and 9.
chapter 22 and verse 13.
No.
Go ye, inquire of the Lord for me.
Right now, this is King Josiah speaking to his priest. He's like, go and inquire of the Lord for me, read.
And for the people,
Right?
and for all Judah,
Right, which are Israelites, read.
concerning the words of the book
Of the book, which is the scriptures, read.
that is found. For great is the wrath of the Lord
Right?
that is kindled against us.
He said it kindled against us, not kindled against the whole world. He said, great is the wrath of the Lord that's kindled against us. Why?
Because our fathers have not hearkened unto the words of this book,
Straight like that.
to do according unto all that which is written concerning us.
Straight like that. So that's why, right, just to further, right, prove the point that you made, that's why we're going through the things that we're going through. Because we went astray from the Lord. Right? It was the Lord told us to do. Right? Why? Because we was the ones that's held accountable. Real quick, go to Amos 3 and 1.
Amos 3 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of
For the
Israel.
whole world.
O children of Israel.
Said, O children of Israel, read.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt,
Right.
saying, you only have I
The
known.
Lord say,
You only have I known.
contrary to popular belief, people say, hey, the Lord said that he don't be new to Israelites, but people say that, hey, he's the God of everybody. Read.
Of all the families of the earth.
He said, of all the families of the earth, you are the only ones that I've known. Read.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Right? Because we was the ones at the end of the day that received what? What did we receive from the Lord that no other nation received? Right? The commandments. Right? That's like you giving, if you had, I don't know if, I'm just for the sake of the time or the argument, right? If you had two sons, you had one who was older, and you had another. And you told the oldest one, you gave him all the instructions of what to do and what not to do. Right? And you find them, both of them, doing what they're not supposed to be doing, you're going to punish who? The eldest one first, right? Because he received the instructions. Right? That's how it is for us. We got the commandments from the Most High God at the end of the day. Right? Moses didn't give the commandments in the wilderness to the whole wide world. Who was in the wilderness with Moses? The Israelites. Right? Go ahead.
God, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19. He sheweth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Right?
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Straight like that. Straight up. Right? Plain upon tables. It don't get no plainer than that at the end of the day. Right? So, real quick, it's all good. We can drop that. We can go right back to the point for the brother. Right back to the point. Right? So, Lord willing, that answered your question as far as who cursed or why we cursed and so on and so forth. Right? Now keep reading on.
Reading on. And his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom.
Right? It say, and toward the wife of his bosom. Meaning what? We pimp our women now. Think about it. We the only nation on earth that degrade our women. You literally, we the only nation that rap about our women and degrade them. Sing about our women and degrade them. Right?
Right.
We get happy when they on top of cars twerking. Right? You don't see the other nations acting like that. Right? The men don't talk about their women like that. Right? But that's a curse that came upon the Israelites. And who's it living out? Who's it living through right now? Us. Why? Because we the Israelites. Right?
God.
It get deeper.
And toward the remnant of his children,
And toward the remnant of his children,
which he shall leave.
straight like that. And what people know for growing up in single parent households? Us, predominantly. Right? Why? Because, why? Because we the Israelites. Right? Go to 68.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68, and it reads,
Get out.
and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Right? Now, do you know what that word Egypt means?
As far as the nation,
Well, what it means. Not necessarily where it's located or the land, but the word specifically and what it means.
break it down.
All praise to the Most High, right?
Deuteronomy 5 and 15.
Get out.
And remember that thou was a servant
Right.
in the land of Egypt.
In the land of where?
In the land of Egypt.
Right? The land of servitude, right? That word Egypt goes into the Hebrew word Mizraim. or Mizraim, which literally means between two straits, or stuck between a rock and a hard place, a burden being placed upon you. Right? So the word Egypt means bondage or slavery. All throughout the scriptures, when you see in the word Egypt, more than likely it's going to be compared or synonymous to bondage, slavery, captivity. Right? You need another scripture to validate it. Let's get another witness. Right? Go to the book. Right? We got Exodus. Go to the book of Jeremiah 11 and 4. Right? Jeremiah 11 and 4. And go to 1 Kings chapter 8, 51.
The book of Jeremiah,
3 witnesses.
chapter 11 and verse 4, and it reads,
Get out.
which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt,
Out of the land of Egypt.
from the iron furnace.
From the what?
From the iron furnace.
Now watch this.
First Kings 8 and verse 51. For they be thy people,
For they be thy people,
and thy inheritance,
right?
which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt,
Out of Egypt,
from the midst of the furnace of iron.
from the midst of the furnace of iron. So all throughout the scriptures, you see bondage. Iron furnace, midst of the furnace of iron. If I put you inside of an iron furnace, would you be comfortable? Exactly, because while the Israelites was in the land of Egypt, they weren't comfortable.
Right?
Why? Because they were slaves in the land of Egypt. Right? They served with rigorous work. So the point is, the word Egypt means bondage or slavery. So now let's put it in context. Right? Bring it out.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 28 and verse 68 from the top.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
Into Egypt. What Egypt mean, King? What it mean, brother? You got it? That's right. That's right. That's right. Read.
Again with ships.
It said again with ships. Right? What people went into slavery on ships? Did everybody on the face of the earth go into? Did they go into slavery on ships
No.
straight up?
Oh no, just us.
Right. So who does this by default have to be talking about? Right? Talking. It's talking about the Israelites.
Yeah.
Who are the Israelites?
It's us.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. We the Israelites. We're the only ones to fulfill that prophecy. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans are the only ones in recorded history to ever go into slavery on ships.
So, all in context, what does that mean in present term right now?
Say that one more
I
time.
said, as far as what should do, as far as the present right now.
You said, what should we do?
Yeah, I mean, as far
Okay,
as
all praise. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Right? Let's tell the brother what we should do in these last days. Give me real quick, Deuteronomy 30 and 1. Give me the book of Ruth, chapter 4. Bring that out real quick.
Deuteronomy 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee,
Right.
and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations,
Right? And to call them to mind among all the nations, read.
whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee.
Right? So right now we calling these things to mind among the nations. Right? We calling to mind that, dang, we cursed because we didn't keep the commandments. Right? We living like this because we didn't keep the commandments. So that's us calling these things to mind among the nations, you know?
And shall return unto the Lord thy God,
Right? And shall return unto the Lord.
and shall obey his voice, according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children,
Right.
with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
When we come back to the Lord and do what? Keep his commandments. Right? Because that's what got us in this position, not keeping the commandments. So what we got to do now? We got to keep the commandments. Read.
That then
Then
the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
we'll do what?
Will turn thy captivity.
Then the Most High, he'll turn our captivity. You understand? Read.
And have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations.
Right? Talking about when the Lord come back, guess what? He's going to gather us from the other nations. He's going to send us in our homeland like he's going to tell you. Read.
Whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
Right?
If any of thy,
Drop down to verse 7.
verse 7, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses,
All these what?
all these curses
Right?
upon thy enemies.
It said, and the Lord right? It said, and the Lord will put all these curses upon our enemies. Right? So if the Lord put all these curses upon our enemies, what that means? That means the things that we go through on a daily basis, the things that we got to worry about on a daily basis, guess what? That's going to get put upon them. The morals are going to reverse completely. Right? Because at the end of the day, the Lord made the world for who? For the Israelites, for his children. That's what he created the world for. Right? And we're going to be bestowed back in our rightful place. You understand? So it goes with, hey, we got to keep these commandments in these last days. That's what we got to do, right? Give me Ezra 7 and 10. Right? Give me Tobit chapter 13 and verse 6. Donnie, you can give me that. You can drop that. Give me Tobit 13 and 6. Yep.
Ezra 7 and verse 10. For Ezra hath prepared his heart.
For Ezra, a righteous man, right? He's a high priest. He prepared his heart, meaning his mind, read.
To seek the law of the Lord.
So we living in the days where we got to seek the law of the Lord, right?
And to do it.
Not only do we got to seek it out and inquire of it, but then we got to do it, read.
And to teach in Israel statutes and judgments.
And to teach in Israel statutes and
muscle.
Right? So that's what we got to do, right? Through this up here.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 13 and verse 6.
Bring it out.
If you turn to him with your whole heart,
right,
and with your whole mind,
right? It says, oh yeah, most definitely. Right? It's YouTube channels at the bottom of there, right? And it's an email account. If you ever got any questions, oh, okay. Most definitely. The point is, brother, right? What's your nationality? What did God call you? Did God call you African American or black man? Is the word African American in the Bible? Right. So what did God call you? So who's the children of God?
That's right.
Right, the Israelites, because everybody can't claim that title. Like, everybody can't say that they're the children of God. Everybody can't say that they descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah, that's what. But look, we can't go by what they call us. We got to go by what our Heavenly Father referred to ourselves. All praise to the Most High, brother. Right, you're an Israelite, brother. We got to repent, keep the commandments in these last days. All right, King? All right, all praises. All right, be safe, guys. Shalom. All right, so all praise to the Most High.